1997, hydrophones in the Pacific Ocean recorded one of the loudest underwater sounds ever detected. Researchers believe that it had to be coming from a biological source. It wasn't a crack, it wasn't an explosion, but seemingly a pulse. The frequency was approximately 19 hertz, which is actually just below what humans can hear. It was occurring at 27.3 hours and repeated for weeks, and then it disappeared again. Scientists have dug deeper into the sound, but it seems to be leaving them with more question marks than answers. What's really odd about this sound is that it appears to rise gradually, remain at a sustained frequency for a couple of seconds, and then slowly fade. In 2011, one AUV had reported what is called a transient compass drift. But when the footage was reviewed, it was noticed that the several frames, the particles appeared to move outward in like these synchronized waves and then go back. They also saw a bioluminescent glow from portions of the ROV footage.
Well, I hate this so far.
So today, we're going to discuss what is nicknamed the Mariana Pulse. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Coast Files, your podcast for ocean mysteries and true crime. I'm Chantel.
I'm Lindsay.
I'm Megan, and I'm sick.
You're sick? You don't sound sick.
You don't
I
sound
remember you
sick.
said you weren't feeling well.
It's just a cold. It happened on Friday at work. I'm like, great. Why couldn't you be Monday morning? I get to miss work, but and I haven't slept at all for 2 days, and I'm having tea. So like, you really know.
I'm having tea
I actually
too.
have a sore throat thing going on that started.
No,
But
it's
you
I
have children.
still-
Better
now.
expected.
Yeah,
That's where I
I've
got
been
it
keeping
too,
on
from my
top of
boss's
it.
friend.
Yeah, I'm keeping on top of it. I feel like I'm gonna win, but you know when there's something lingering
Yeah.
and you're just not sure. But that's how
Yeah.
If you have a positive thoughts, lots of hydration, and like just take an Advil and
Yeah.
stuff, and just
Some ginger.
I actually did take Advil
You-
before we
you
started.
will be fine.
do you know
You will
what?
be fine.
I always have.
Will it so?
I have eucalyptus like drops on me at all times. So if I ever feel something,
Yum.
I'm just having those, and I find
Yeah,
it
that
no
clears you out
helps.
really fast.
It does, yeah. I was gonna have like a drink today because I have one left of those margaritas that I bought, but it's now 2 p.m. on a Sunday, and I don't feel like that's appropriate. But you know what? You do you if you're doing that, because maybe it's like brunch time. But also, I didn't eat
It
today
is
because I got
same-
sucked into
well,
1,000 things, and I was like, that would not be safe.
Yeah.
That's actually a better reason not to. I don't care that it's Sunday at 2. I think that's a perfect time to have a little afternoon cocktail, because
Yeah.
then by dinner time, you're like,
Right.
did it even happen?
Yeah.
But if you haven't
And-
eaten margarita,
Ex-
We're
Especially that one.
recording St. Patrick's Day weekend. It's obviously past that now, but
that's
Yeah.
right. I
you
didn't do a damn
you
thing.
can drink all day on this weekend. It's
Yeah,
totally acceptable.
I had somebody actually. I was at the weed store, and they were like, "Do you have any St. Patty's pre-rolls?" To the guy, and I'm like, "What is a St. Patty's pre-roll?" I have no idea what that was.
Yeah.
The guy told him no.
It was
So-
pre-rolled before
He
St.
should have
Patty's
just told
Day.
him, yes, this is and mark it up.
I know. I was like, "What exactly does that mean? Is it like green paper?"
It's green.
like,
Yeah, wrap it in green paper, like you know.
I had no idea what he meant by
This
that.
is why we need to be marketing geniuses, because just I feel like we would just make every business more money just by existing in their,
just
in
say
their
it.
sphere.
Just say you have
Just-
that thing.
We'll
just put
we'll
St.
get
Patrick's
there.
Day
Who cares
stuff
about
on it.
honesty? Buy from us, guys. We're the best marketing
Right.
people
I mean, we can
around.
actually really make things green. It's not a lie. We could make green things and sell them.
That's marketing 101. Have you
Mhm.
not been alive in June when it's Pride Month and everyone's like, oh yeah, we're gay now, right?
Yeah.
For 1 month?
And then for the
We
rest of
love
it, they just
rainbows.
give money to places that are probably anti-gay. So,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
marketing 101, guys.
Let's talk about some fun stuff, because I
okay.
simply can't go there.
If this
right
is
now.
fun, I don't know if this is fun or
I know
sad or what.
you guys are. I didn't bother putting like a fake cover photo for you guys. We'll get to this photo in a little bit, but I think we'll have fun today. I hope.
Okay.
I don't know. I told you, remember how I was like, oh, I'm going to start because I did all that editing super early, and I was like, I'm going to finish this episode so early and be ready. And I did do a lot of research early. I won't
Okay.
lie. But then I fell off for like 2 weeks, and I finished my notes yesterday. So
Oh, I
You
love it.
started
I
2 weeks ago. Wow, that's impressive.
That's impressive.
When I start
Jinx.
like 2 days in advance, I'm like, look at me.
I will
Yeah.
think that I will think about my topic weeks in advance.
Oh, yeah.
When I start
up here,
compiling.
it's been done for months. but I didn't know anything about it. But somehow it was done for months in my brain. But
I love that.
I don't think anyone notices. I think you'll have fun here.
yeah. Okay, so like I said, it's going to be a little bit back and forth. So I'll just start with a little intro here.
Okay.
In 1997, hydrophones in the Pacific Ocean recorded one of the loudest underwater sounds ever detected. It was so it was so powerful, it was detected by different hydrophones thousands of kilometers apart. And at the time, due to its power and large scale, researchers believed that it had to be coming from a biological source. Something massive and something alive is what they were thinking. Years later, scientists determined that the sound was likely an ice quake. Antarctic ice was fracturing and releasing enormous acoustic energy through the water column, and that was case closed. The mystery was solved.
Is that like the Lake Minnewanka, psew, psew,
But underwater.
Is it louder?
Okay.
There should be
We
no
know
sound.
That's why I said in
Antarctica
the water
makes
column.
weird sounds from.
To
your
be
previous
perfectly
from our
honest,
Antarctic episode.
my computer just froze and it scared the shit out of me. I thought that I dropped it, so I didn't hear the first sentence you said.
Oh, okay. So it was they had this large underwater hydrophones picked up this large underwater sound.
Was it called the bloop?
We get into what it was. So it
Okay.
was then years later they didn't know what it was. They thought it was from a biological source, and then
Okay.
they decided that they found out later it was an ice quake. So
Okay.
from Antarctica ice fracturing and releasing enormous acoustic energy through the water column.
Okay.
Okay.
Now I'm caught up.
Mm.
I did need to hear that first part. Okay, good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the interesting thing was that wasn't the only anomaly that was recorded that year. So there was archived hydrophone data that there was something else that had been recently revisited and talked about, and there was a second pattern. It was quieter, slower, and easier to miss. It wasn't a crack, it wasn't an explosion, but seemingly a pulse. So today we're going to discuss what is nicknamed the Mariana Pulse.
That
Ooh.
sounds disgusting. Something's in the
So-
Mariana Trench kind of
Yeah,
thing. Pulsing.
it has a heartbeat.
Guys,
It's alive.
this one
Okay.
gets a little exciting. So we're gonna go back a little bit here because we do love our history, and we're
Back,
gonna talk.
but now, but then.
No, still
in the
back. It
present,
was still
but
back from
Just back.
1997 as well. So it's just back.
Okay.
So underwater hydrophones were first introduced and developed during World War I by Reginald Fessenden, who was a Canadian-American electrical engineer.
Hey.
He was born in what was called East Canada, in the area that 2 years after his birth became Quebec. So yeah,
Okay.
it was back.
Give it
then.
away.
I consider Eastern Canada like where
I
we're
know. Yeah, but no, they apparently it was just that whole there was this big area just called East Canada before it became a bunch of the
Yeah.
provinces. So yeah.
Fair
So he
enough.
created what is called the Fessenden oscillator, which is an underwater electroacoustic transducer. And I recognize some of those words, so I think I can kind of understand what it means, but
Right.
I didn't get into the science of what that is. I figured that was
yeah.
enough. Anyways, he
Future episode.
created the main thing that they needed for the underwater to capture sound.
Right. I
It's a
mean,
big
I
deal.
think I understand naming it after yourself and all this other stuff, but if you had a cool nickname for it, it might have been helpful.
Yeah.
Maybe
for the
like
rest
a little
of us.
acronym action.
Yeah.
Well, Fessenden oscillator. That's cool, right?
It doesn't tell me anything. I know
Doesn't
that
really.
os means
Yeah.
goes in a circle.
Circle. Yeah. Okay.
So I hear water wheel
Mhm.
underwater
Mm.
wheeling around.
Okay. Sure.
Okay.
Whatever helps you with this. So, obviously, it was developed during World War I. So these hydrophones were used to hear and spy on subs. This technology was later used during the Cold War by the U.S. And if you recall, in Project Azorian, I referred to the SOSUS, and that's how that technology was developed. I am
This is
having
all flooding back.
great time speaking
Good
today. We were
time.
laughing at the acronym of it. Anyways, it's what they used to triangulate where the sub explosion happened, right? They had the SOSUS. They used it during the Cold War
Oh,
to
yes.
hear a bunch of subs, basically. So like most technology, it was created for war and spying. But then later today, marine scientists, researchers, and oceanographers use PAM, which is passive acoustic monitoring, to analyze ocean sounds for research purposes like earthquakes, volcanic activity, migrating of animals. You get
Mhm.
the gist.
Sub-implosions.
Yes.
Bam!
They probably don't say it that way, but that's how I said it in my head every time that I read it.
How else do you, like, you have to remember what it's trying to capture. It's trying to capture
Stamps. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's how I took it.
they most of the time have hydrophones lined up in what they call an array, which is like a grid of hydrophones arranged in a specific pattern in order to detect and record sounds while also cutting out the sounds from like the other ones. So remember how like we were recording in person and all of our microphones were picking up one another? It actually can cut out
Nightmare.
the other
So fun.
sounds.
How
so
much
we need to
get
use
one of
this
these?
technology next
Yes.
time we record in person.
Exactly. So, and sometimes even these arrays are sometimes just like in the ocean, but then they are also sometimes towed behind boats and
Okay.
like capturing sound as they go, which I thought was kind of cool. So did you know that sound travels 4 times faster in water than in air?
That
No.
doesn't.
Right?
I thought it would
Seem
like
to-
the opposite, maybe.
Didn't compute
Yeah.
in here either.
Yeah.
Did not make any sense. So that's where I got a little confused and where we're going to get a little bit sciencey and why you
Mhm.
have these photos now. So it travels at about 1,500 meters per second in seawater, and this is 4.3 to 5 times faster than in air, which averages about 343 meters per second.
What?
That
Yeah.
is
I
crazy
never
because
would've
I'm
guessed that.
faster in air than in water. I
Right?
mean, I am a fast swimmer, but you know what I mean.
Yes. So I get into why. So the warmer the air is too, the faster the sound will travel, but it only increases by like 0.03 meters per second or something like that for every degree that it goes
Not
up.
huge.
Still has
not
nothing on
huge,
water.
yeah. So this is because sound speed and distance varies depending on the density and elasticity or stiffness of the medium that it is in. So sorry if it's making anybody's eyes gloss over, but this was pretty cool once I actually kind of figured it out. So the simplest.
I know this is cool. I always think
Yeah.
about like like running in sand, running through molasses.
This
for
is like
instance.
a fact. Yes. A good
So-
reference, Megan.
or not running.
Mm.
Big yikes.
So the simplest way to describe this is that sound moves faster in water than in air because water molecules are packed closer together than they are air molecules. So it allows the sound waves to pass quickly between them, kind of bouncing between the molecules. So it goes faster because there's more molecules together. But sound in the ocean isn't constant, and that's where we get to this first photo that you're on. So as water gets colder, the further down we go, the sound will actually slow down. Then even deeper as we reach the 2 degrees, which is kind of the constant for the lowest part of the ocean, if you remember from our Mariana Trench episode, the
I do.
increase
Vividly, yep.
in pressure. So the pressure starts to increase, which makes the water stiffer and causes the sound speed to increase again. So you can see it's faster up above, and then it has this middle range that's really slow, and then pressure gets heavier and sound goes faster again.
That is pretty crazy that it
That's insane.
Yeah.
has that middle area
Yeah.
and then faster.
So this middle area is called the SOFAR channel, and you can go to the next photo. And that yellow line there in that photo is the SOFAR channel, and it allows low frequency sound to travel enormous distances with no energy loss. And funny enough, this is actually the channel. So this is the channel where it goes the slowest. So it goes the slowest, but it can go the furthest.
Our world is incredible.
Yes.
Science is incredible.
Yes. So SOFAR is short for sound, SO, fixing and ranging transmission. And
Also, it goes so far.
Yeah.
Oh,
I like that.
I like that one.
Did you not?
Nope, did not.
It was so obvious. It's
Wow.
gone so far.
Wow.
Oh,
Wonder which came first.
genius.
The sound
Well,
fixing.
I-
Was it kind of like, remember where Creed's
I'm-
like, let's create acronyms?
Acronym.
And he's like, what does he say? He has it on the board. Oh my God.
It was very inappropriate. If I
No, it wasn't even that bad. It was Bobity or something like that. And he's like, Bobity, what's the first B stand for? So did they come up with SOFAR first? And they're like, we got to figure out what this stands
I think
for.
together you guys should
Yeah.
teach science because Chantel knows all the facts. Then Megan could come in with the quick acronym that
There
you'll
we
never
go.
forget because I'm never
Yes.
ever going to get the SOFAR channel.
I feel like it's probably they were trying to describe the area, all the different characteristics, and then they picked out words where they could make it make sense.
Makes sense.
You know what I
Okay.
mean? So it's a hybrid.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
continue. I am
I-
fascinated.
so this sound is found typically between 600 to 1,200 meters or 2,000 to 4,000 feet below the top. So scientists discovered this channel. This is pretty cool. By blowing up a lot of explosives off the coast of Australia, and 4 hours later, the sound traveled. Are you ready for this? 19,810 kilometers to the coast of Bermuda. So in 4 hours, it traveled that fast.
That's insane.
In the air,
Wow.
that sound would have traveled about 25 kilometers, and at higher depths in the water, it only would have traveled about 50 kilometers. So why does this happen? So when sound enters this, so far, superhighway, whether it started in the channel or whether it entered in the channel at an angle, I think they said 12 degrees is like the prime entering in this channel that it has
The
to
ramp.
hit. Yeah. So it bounces back and forth between the fast channels above and below, like a sinusoidal wave pattern, rather than
Like a ping
dispersing
pong
and just
ball, not
continues
ping pong.
until it hits something. So that's what this next photo is, kind of showing you how it goes in that wave pattern. So
Bumpers on a bowling alley.
essentially, that's kind of what they are.
Yes,
And
I was
so
like, what am I?
it like hits that, and then it goes fast again back in, and then it hits the bottom, and it goes fast again back in, but throughout this slow channel. So that's why it's able to just keep going and going and going.
Mm-hmm.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
So it was actually later discovered that whales use this channel to send calls long distances to one another.
Wow, they know it's the best telephone like line.
know.
So
Yeah.
Mom, it's me. I made it to school.
Yeah, right?
yeah, and you know this so quickly because
The
the
So Far channel.
Yeah, and they're like, I was waiting for your call. I got 18 hangups, but
Yeah.
I knew you were going to call me.
This I just had to get that out and how this happens because I was like, oh, we're talking about a pulse, if you remember.
Mhm.
Yes.
So I was like, how does this sound even go? And I thought that was pretty cool. So I thought I would add this in here because who the hell knows when I'll be able to talk about this again. So in 1997, there was a repeating signal that appeared to be coming from the west side of the Mariana Trench when the data was looked at. And the frequency was approximately 19 hertz, which is actually just below what humans can hear. I think our minimum is around 20.
creepy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was occurring at a very odd interval. It was occurring at 27.3 hours and repeated for weeks, and then it disappeared again.
But like always at 27.3 hours.
27.3 hours, this would happen.
Oh, I don't
And
like
then
that.
it returned again months later and happened again. So the 27.3 hours, actually the number kind of stuck out in my
Yeah.
head because I was like, why? And then I realized that it's because the sidereal rotation of the moon is 27.3 days.
No, I
The
don't like when things
moon.
line up. Moon.
Yeah.
Back again.
So scientists have dug deeper into the sound, but it seems to be leaving them with more question marks than answers. So it's too regular to be tectonic activity. The band is too narrow, whatever that means. I guess the sound band is too narrow to be consistent with glacial fracturing like that other one was. And it's too low for any marine mammals that we know of at this depth to be making this sound. Whales can go
that we
pretty
know
deep, but
of.
they can't go like Mariana Trench deep unless they're dead, as we know from a whale fall. So
Not quite the same thing.
it
Right.
also appears to be coming from a stationary source. Which is
And they can't pinpoint.
no, they know the general area. I mean, this is 1997, so they kind of just know the general area. At the
I
time,
forgot
right?
where we
So-
were. I mean,
But
James
they
Cameron
can't-
was on the scene though, so
Yeah.
Right. I know. I was actually all thinking this was him filming. You know.
Yeah, me too.
That's what it was.
I assume that he's there in his little
Maybe he
submarine,
did
and
go
Alvin is
film.
down lower, and he's like,
Yes.
"This is my
There you
next
go.
movie."
Oh, Alvin. Okay, where was I?
Well, I hate this so far.
Let's see.
So far?
Whoa. Again.
Yeah, I hate this.
I mean, they clearly didn't. They must have named it after.
1,000%.
How far away?
Like, they just randomly pick
figured out
letters
the
out of these
acronym later.
words.
Bo Biddy.
Yeah.
Bo Biddy. Okay. So yeah, basically for as much as we know about the Mariana Trench, we know absolutely nothing when you really think about it. So also the fact that we have this like sound source coming from so deep and really kind of being like, I don't know, kind of makes sense. So what's really odd about this sound is that it appears to rise gradually, remain at a sustained frequency for a couple of seconds, and then slowly fade. So scientists have started digging because it must be coming from something alive, is what they're thinking, because of the way that the sound waves are going.
Just
And
leave it
Okay.
alone.
if you remember from our Mariana Trench episode where I went into animals that can be found, not much can really live down there. And this is because of what it takes to survive at these depths. So it's not just about the food sources, which actually doesn't seem to be that bad because some of them eat on, like, remember, they feed off like minerals and stuff like that down there. And then there, every once in a while, there will be a big whale fall and everyone will like survive for a while off of it. So
Hooray!
yeah.
The whale
Um,
gods have
the
Bless
given us
us.
another meal.
So it's more so about the molecular level biology of the creatures that live there that help them to live there. So many organisms, like Lindsay's babysitter, the next photo there, just a
Oh.
little reminder of our
The
snailfish.
snailfish.
Um,
Oh, what a
So
good babysitter.
responsible.
Yeah. They produce TMAO, which is, if you guys remember, I went into this, the trimethylamine dioxide. And this is what prevents the proteins from denaturing under pressure by stabilizing them so that no one ends up like just crushing. This is because the pressure at 8,000 meters is about 800 ATM, and that's going to fuck up the cell membranes and cause a whole bunch of issues if you don't have this TMAO to kind of go in between the cells and stop them from getting all kinds of fucked up. So,
Again, science. Oh my God.
right?
It's so cool.
We
Yeah.
actually have TMAO in us as well. And because that's something that we run at work, and you're not supposed to eat fish the night before you come in for your annual health assessment because it'll mess up
'Cause
your
they have more?
TMAO levels. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Now that could have been
Oh.
TMI, but actually it was a good
Ah.
FYI. Acronyms.
So we are just like these fish.
Yes,
We're not
exactly.
too far from a snailfish, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
biologically. So all the information that they have on the sound source seems to be like coming from something fairly large as well. So in 2018, F.A. Keller and Silas J. Easterton wrote a paper where the researchers were constructing the theoretical upper limit of TMAO. So they're just trying to determine how big could an animal actually get at these levels before their cells would just stop working because there's too much TMAO in their system. So they actually determined that 6 to 10 meters, so that's 19 to 32 feet, or 2.7 to 4.5 shacks, was likely the largest a
you.
vertebrate animal could be at 8,000 meters of depth. After this, they become osmotically unstable, meaning that the salts and the water will rush in and out of the cells, causing them to swell and burst. So they wouldn't be able to. So theoretically, you could have pretty large creatures living at that depth, which
And does this imply like
Right.
they have a brain, like they're not just like floating
yeah, like
and
a
absorbing
fish,
nutrients?
like a I guess you could say like a no, because the jellyfish isn't a vertebral animal.
Yeah, I know. So that's why I'm just like
yeah,
wondering.
so it's like would be something with a brain.
Because to me, I hear like vertebrae, I hear more intelligent.
yeah.
So I hate it.
Yeah.
Right. So
Imagine a 2.5
I mean,
foot length shack thing.
At least you're not anywhere close to where this
yet
is.
it's making plans.
that's
clearly.
fair. That's fair. And it probably
We're
won't
probably at a safe
survive the way
distance
up
for now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be
I mean,
provided
if
that
you recall the Meg broke through the
It
cool
did.
channel.
it did.
So
So this would be provided that they would have a food source to sustain them, and obviously an animal that big would probably need a lot of food. But we also know that, like, if you remember from the Greenland sharks, they can go long periods of time without eating, and they're a
So
quite
metabolism's
large animal.
like
yeah, because their
zero.
metabolism is so slow, and especially being down
same.
in the colder, maybe their
Cold,
metabolism
yeah.
would also be slower. So
slower. Yeah.
anyways, this is a potential. Now, if you also, they also said that the snailfish is only about 20 to 30 centimeters if you think about it. So the terrifying upper limit isn't huge because even 10 meters is still smaller than most of the whales that we know today as well. So when you really think about 10 meters in the size of animals that live in the sea, it's not humongous, but it's not small either. Now, that being said, the invertebrate upper limit was also about the same in size, but just deeper at 10,000 meters. If you remember the next photo, that was the amphipods. And yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
Right.
I think that would be terrifying to see one of
Yes.
those at 10 meters.
At any at any size, but
yes.
especially at the size of a fucking dinosaur. Yes.
Yeah. So that would be where it
Oh,
would get more creepy to me than seeing like, I don't know, a
That would
Greenland
keep me out of the
shark.
water.
Yeah, right?
my
Yeah.
eyes.
But this led them to their next big question in the paper, which what if it wasn't just your normal vertebrae or invertebrate? What if it was actually something more like a siphonophore? So these creatures deserve their own episode, and I need to kind of figure this out somehow. Stop skipping ahead. I can hear you clicking.
Nope. I went back.
Okay.
I went back because I couldn't look at that thing anymore.
Okay.
I'm back on the snailfish because I couldn't handle it.
Anyways, we're gonna get into the next one anyway. So in a nutshell, siphonophores are colonial hydrozoans, and they reproduce by budding more so, and they live together because they are typically very small on their own and vulnerable. But if they live together, they might also get like missing organs that they need to survive, and they can just survive better at a bigger size.
Communal
Yeah,
living.
exactly.
It works.
So the largest ever recorded siphonophore was 40 to 47 meters or 130 to 150 feet in length. And that is the
Damn.
next photo.
Okay. Yeah, I had to skip back
That's
because I
okay.
can't look at that thing. What the hell?
Yeah, that's a siphonophore. So it just looks like a giant glowing like
Oh, yeah.
spiral
Like,
in the
yeah.
water. They're just really cool. And another famous siphonophore is the Portuguese man-o'-war.
oh, I know that one.
They
I
are
know this
often
name.
confused. You can go to the next one. They are often confused with a jellyfish. But this one is
Yes.
actually made up of 4 types of zooids that function
What?
together.
Okay.
So they have a float/sail, which is one. They have the tentacles, which are another type of zooids that are living on them. Then they have another zooid, which is their digestion, and another zooid that is their reproduction.
So this one
Oh,
animal
wow.
It's
that we're looking
4
at is actually
animals in a
4.
trench coat.
What? Guys, the world is
But
incredible.
did they come together, or were they like,
Yeah,
did
they
start
like
together?
I think that they come together later. I didn't get fully into these guys. 'Cause
Like you're
I said,
trying,
they
you found another
deserve their
sale again.
own.
You're like, oh, damn, we already have one of those. Like,
What was really cool and scary about this is that after these guys die, if they wash up on shore, their tentacles can still be venomous for up to like 10 to 12 hours after they die or something like that.
okay.
Because their tentacles are extremely
Yeah.
venomous. Like you guys have heard
They
about
look-
the
I
look
remember
dangerous.
this was something I was scared of as a child, which even though there were none in Nova
When
Scotia.
will this ever come up for you as a child? Like, how
I've
did you
read
even
books
find out?
about sea animals.
Because
and
she
what did we
was-
say about reading?
I'm sure Chantel
women shouldn't
did.
be allowed to read.
Obviously.
This is what happens. You get scared of jellyfish that don't live anywhere close to where you are.
No, that's
But yeah,
it's
I was
very fair.
I thought
yeah.
this was scary because I'm like, oh my god, like what if you
Well,
didn't see it and one little
Well,
sting,
I
you're
thought they
gone.
were always so pretty whenever I
They
saw
are.
them,
The
but I was
colors
like,
are
just
lovely.
remember, like, stay far away from these guys.
The
Yes.
the
And they're in
prettier the
Australia,
color, the
right?
more deadly, right?
Mhm. Yeah, the brighter they are, the more deadly. Yes, they are found in
Mhm.
Australia as well. In fact, I think there have been times where like beaches just
course.
have like a bunch of them washed up on them.
I'm just more and more
that
impressed that you
so
survived
on brand.
Australia, Chantal. You were so
know what,
brave.
though?
So it is on brand for you to go somewhere where you're like, oh, the weather, everything's trying to kill me, but this weather and the
Yeah.
fresh fruit,
Yeah.
and you just make it work.
But that's
It's
kind of
worth it.
why I would rather go back to New Zealand because like nothing's trying to kill you there.
Just the
So,
sheep.
Yes.
You still haven't seen that movie yet, where the sheep try to attack. I forget what it's called. You
can
know what I'm talking about?
Frolic around like we're hobbits in New Zealand.
Exactly.
Ugh.
And
Little
if you
hobbit
go down to the
village.
south, you can still have a little bit of winter too if you want a little bit of winter. So,
No.
you know, if you're feeling it.
Yeah. Exactly.
think so, but no.
no
Yeah.
problem.
We come places to not do winter.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, going back to what I was saying in the research paper, they thought, what about the potential of a siphonophore at this depth? Because their bodies are more gel based and distribute pressure rather than needing to resist it at the molecular level. So, with the TMAO. So, using this idea, one marine physiologist estimated that an organism comprised of what they're comprised of, with jelly kind of stuff,
Goo.
goo, they could theoretically exceed 200 meters in length.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
But
crazy.
how would they be making a sound every 27 and a third day?
I don't. We
Things like that shouldn't have brains. That's crazy.
Yeah.
yeah. So this does bring us back to our pulse. And as I said before, it's not a sharp pitched. And I'm actually kind of surprised that they didn't call it the Mariana breath, but maybe because it's underwater, they didn't want to
Ooh.
call it a breath because the way it kind of
Mm.
sounded, it sounded like a breath. Um,
That's creepy too, man.
Anyways.
Don't breathe around me or pulse around me.
Yeah,
Gosh.
so I don't know why they didn't do that, but I'm not a scientist. I just play one on this podcast. So,
You are a resident scientist.
Yeah, you are our scientist, that's for sure.
so AUVs have been exploring the Mariana Trench time and time again. They're kind of always down there just looking for stuff.
Which I
Those
appreciate
are
in a way where it's like we have topics, but I really would rather not know and just die by its hand, whatever this thing
Right.
is.
just one day when the Mariana Trench just swallows up the entire Earth.
It's gonna
So
happen.
autonomous underwater vehicles is what that is short for. And they aren't manned or controlled, but their programming, they just kind of do their thing and the data is reviewed at another time, or sometimes it's instantly sent and people are like watching it as well. So in 2011, one AUV had reported what is called a transient compass drift. Now, what is that? I don't know. I also had to look it up. And this was also around the west side of the Mariana Trench that this happened. So this is when a compass for a short period of time shifts away from true direction. So like instead of being true north, it might show you a little bit off. Now, this can be for many reasons. Like a lot of trenches have minerals that can mess up the magnets. The equipment on the AUV itself can interfere with the magnets sometimes. And sometimes there's just weird variations in the Earth's magnetic field as well. So, of course, even though this anomaly could be easily explained, this led to many internet conspiracies. Some that
Well, here
sound
we
more
are.
plausible than others, and some that are way out there. So, one conspiracy.
Secret base.
Of course. One conspiracy suggested that the signal might originate from a classified submarine system. So, during the Cold War, both the US and the Soviet Union were experimenting with extremely low frequency communication systems that were designed to reach submerged submarines across large distances. So they think that the Mariana Pulse could be some leftover technology that was abandoned or lost and still on some sort of automated communication. But submarine communication typically operate at very low frequencies, and more times than that, they are much lower than 19 hertz. And what also would be weird is 27.3 hours seems like a weird timing for a signal to be sent. And also, after this long, you think that it may have died by now. So
Right.
this is where kind of it breaks down that theory, you know? It also has these odd breaks. It's kind of like, why would they stop for weeks to sometimes months and then start up again? It just doesn't seem to go
and then when
with
it starts
like
back
a
up,
spy.
I think I said days earlier, but yeah, sorry, it's hours.
Yeah.
So it'll start up again.
Yeah.
And then be again consistently 27.3.
Yeah,
That
Because the
is
breaks are not
weird.
consistent.
Correct. So
That's so creepy.
another theory seems a bit more grounded, as the Mariana Trench sits along the Pacific Plate and the Philippine Sea Plate, which, if you remember, that's how the trench keeps getting deeper, is through that subduction that's happening. So people think that the weird acoustics could be coming from shifts that are occurring and could also be what caused the compass to mess up. But once again, the timing is weird, and it's not like any known geological movement that's been happening, according to scientists. They kind of already said this isn't geological, but people are saying maybe it is.
I wish it was.
Yeah. It
But
does
it,
like that whole moon thing I keep coming back to my mind.
I
But
hate it.
Well, because
What does
that's
the
days,
moon-
though. It's 27.3 days for the sidereal movement of the moon, and it's hours
be
for this
just a
one. But it does
coincidence?
seem-
Hours.
It does seem
Okay.
weird
Okay, never
that it's
mind.
like,
It does
yeah.
seem weird.
yeah,
Mm.
I don't know. Just the number itself is
Yeah.
like, why is this popping up again?
What does the moon have to do with the deepest part of the ocean, aka almost
Well, maybe
to our
that's.
crust?
I'm throwing out my theory
Why?
now. I was thinking for a second it was.
Well, there
23
were,
days,
I didn't go into, there were like some things that I was
27.
reading, and it was saying about how like there can be a lot of events that can happen in the ocean based off of the moon, obviously based off of the tides, based off the moon. Sometimes it's geological
learned.
events that happen because especially so deep down because of the way the crust and everything like that move. But I don't know, just the 27.3 was really weird to me. So
I don't like it.
another theory along those same lines is about hydrothermal vents causing weird acoustics along the walls. But once again, these would be more predictable. And then, of course, there's always aliens. So there's a lot of people think that there's aliens living
One of
down
these
there.
days, it's going
One
to be
time
an
it's
alien.
going to be aliens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially where it's stationary. They're like, maybe it's like you said, Megan, like their base
A
is
base.
there and like they have, yeah. So all of this brings us to 2024 and why this started to show up in my feed so much and became so topical. So during a 2024 mapping mission of the Mariana Trench, an ROV was conducting what's called slope imaging along the western wall of the Mariana Trench, and it recorded something very unusual. All I can say is thank God for technology updates so that they were able to capture some of this. So obviously it's very dark in the trench. The ROV has these like big cameras and powerful
Spotlights.
lights that it uses, right? And that, you know, when you've seen it before where you see the particles moving in the water and you can see the lights are refracting off of it. And what they saw though is normally these particles move in kind of like random directions all over the place. But when the footage was reviewed, it was noticed that the several frames, the particles appeared to move outward in like these synchronized waves and then go back. And this pattern over 3 days repeated twice. And at first it was thought to be from the thrusters on the ROV hitting the walls and causing disturbances in the water. But one of the researchers, Timothy Rickman, noted that the timestamps had an eerie resemblance to another known Mariana anomaly. So they looked at the hydrophone data, and sure enough, this particle waves movement were occurring within minutes of a low frequency acoustic spike being recorded on the hydrophones. So they then decided to look back at the 2011 compass anomaly that happened, and that also was picked up at the same time as hydrophone data was being picked up.
It's intelligent. I don't.
So during some of the footage, they also saw a bioluminescent glow from portions of the ROV footage, in a color that's not typically seen. It was actually red. Most known bioluminescence is either blue or green, but siphonophores are actually the second known species to reproduce a red light themselves. So this it's not completely unheard of to hear.
Are
of
you
red,
a
don't worry.
sonophore, Megan? You got some red light going on behind you.
It's purple.
So
My
I
bad.
will link the
Plus,
footage.
I would tell you if I
Yes,
was a
you would.
siphonophore,
Thank
by the way, I
you.
would.
Because you would be
Thank
trying to
you.
grab us all together to live together in a colony where we help
Right.
one another.
Together.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
about my compound idea, so this is not new to anyone.
Yes. So I did find some of the footage online, and I will link it later so we can put it up. But I saved some screen grabs because the footage was actually kind of hard to find. I don't know why this isn't like talked about more.
The government's trying to keep it quiet.
Yeah, right. So I didn't want you guys to go ahead, so I made a second photo here. You guys can.
You
go
didn't
to...
trust us?
No, I didn't, because I know what we're all like.
And 9 times out of 10, it's just an accident. Like you thought I was clicking ahead. I was actually getting
Yeah,
off
I
of
don't
that
try to
freaking
go
giant
ahead.
sea thing.
So I'm going to send you this other one. The first one is a blank one. I want you guys to go on the screen together. Okay. So we'll count down to 3, and then you guys can go together.
Okay.
3,
So
2, 1.
Okay.
Oh my God.
April Fools, you guys.
April Fools.
I was so
Chantal has been
afraid.
deceiving us.
I'm so glad you guys weren't poking holes in my story.
I
never
was
question you.
Sold.
I was like, I mean, and it was like so believable because you weren't
Because-
like saying it's definitely something. You're like,
Okay.
but I could believe that there was a weird sound.
So
In the
here's
ocean.
here's the thing.
So believable.
So some of my stuff is true. Obviously, the stuff I told you about how sound goes in water is true. In 1997, there was the
Good,
thing that
'cause that
Megan
would be
told us about,
upsetting.
which is the bloop. And that was discovered in
Okay.
2012 that it was actually what's called a cryoseism, which is an ice quake.
Okay.
Siphonophores are also real. Everything I told you about siphonophores and about the red glowing, that is
Ooh.
also real.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the Mariana Pulse is not real. But what happened in 2014 was there was a mysterious metallic biotwang that was recorded in the Mariana Trench and has
It was
since
a
been
country.
identified
Twang.
as a unique
Twang.
call from the bride's whales. So,
Oh.
yeah, it was described as their call as being like a giant game of Marco Polo.
When you use tons of actual science, this is why fake
Yeah.
news can sound so real, because then it's like, well, all these other things are real.
Yeah.
So
Right, you just
if
squished in
then,
some
Guys, I have to
lies
say,
and the real stuff.
wow.
it took so much longer to try and come up with a fake thing than it did to research something real.
This was crazy.
Well, this was perfect.
I totally believed it.
I'm glad I got some real.
Also, some of my names that I put in there were to give it away because, like, one guy's was F.A. Keller, so it's fake. F.A.K.
Nope. Didn't get it. Didn't get it at all.
What
Not
is
at all.
it?
Maybe it's- yeah.
Gesterson, to be a jester, was another
No.
thing that I put in there, and there was
You're
another
just
one.
too smart.
I forgot.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe if they saw the words.
Maybe.
Yeah,
you
maybe.
might
Or if
have.
I clued in that this was going to come out on April
April
Fool's.
Fool. I know. I was like,
Which I
please
also
nobody
did.
ask when this is coming out. When we started talking about other things, I was like, please nobody ask what day this is coming out because it comes out on April Fool's, and that's when I realized that I had.
That's
to do
smart for you
this.
to think ahead. And
Yes.
plan this.
I even removed it from the Airtable that it said April Fool's beside it because I was like, I don't want anybody to see or to mention
I
like,
was
hey,
in
this
there.
is coming out on April
I was
Fool's.
in there today. I was in there
Yeah.
today, and I didn't even notice. Wow.
Yeah, I know. I know what to think about April Fool's until the day.
Not until I
so.
read the word April Fool's did I
Yeah.
think that it was fake. Wow. Excellent job.
Thank you. Thank you.
I was
That
really
was really
concerned
good.
that it
I
was end times.
know. I'm like, I hope they figure it out soon.
Hope they go down and they
It's end time.
get that thing. For real.
Yeah, and
Oh
it was
my
like this
God.
27-day thing. What's, really
Say,
thinking.
okay,
It's
so-
like that meme, the thinking meme was going on.
Okay, so is that 27.3 hours? What is that from?
I based it off the moon, 27.3 days.
Oh my God, that was the
Mm.
connection, Lindsay. That's
Mm.
why it
Mm.
could technically make sense.
She
in a
just
movie
took something
because-
we know and love.
Yeah.
And
and
she
manipulated
turned it against
into a
us.
lie.
I did. I
My
love you
God.
guys.
Well,
I'm like
listen, you
sweating
need to
so much
write.
because I was like so nervous about you guys like
No, what-
catching on to me. Like I was
It's
like,
all coming together.
Okay, well, you need to do
Should've
that more
known. You're-
often. Like write,
Chantel never
write
sweats
stories.
normally. She's
no,
just
never, not once.
gorgeous at all times. Like
I'm the
should've
sweatiest
caught on.
person I know.
I am actually so relieved that that's not real. I was like, what the hell's down there?
I thought we were just gonna sleep on a cliffhanger. They're like, they still don't know.
And it's right behind you.
Right.
Holy shit. Well, I'm shocked.
Mhm.
I am a fool.
Yes.
You fooled me.
Success.
Okay, perfect.
Big success.
Success.
Then of course the fucking thing wouldn't load. I can
know,
imagine
I
you
was
being
like-
like,
I know. I was like, I want you guys to be fooled at the exact same time.
Yes.
It's okay.
Well, there's only like a 0.5 second
Yeah,
delay
it's
because like
okay.
the link was not working. And when I clicked on the new one you put, and then it finally
There
worked.
we go.
Yes.
It's all
Damn.
good. well, guys,
Excellent.
thanks. I
Yeah.
gave you
Excellent,
some
thank
real
you.
information still. I had to
Bravo.
make it somewhat real. So
No, you did. I
Yeah.
still learned things, so I
Yeah.
think I would feel much more upset if it was all a lie.
yes,
Yes.
that's fair.
But
I would have
we
wasted
also
your
get-
whole day.
The fact that I know now sound travels faster in water.
Like, how
It's
cool is that? That
incredible.
was like mind blowing to me. I was like, I don't
Like,
understand.
Like I
this.
feel like that's gonna come up
on
on
the
a
so
trivia
far
sometime,
highway.
There
and
you
I'm
go.
gonna know. I'm gonna feel so smart.
There you go.
But it's something that when you think about it, like, I don't know. I mean, when you said that explosion in Australia then traveled all the way across, like that just, and that really
And that's not
happened.
even
Like,
straight
that's
to Bermuda.
that's
You have to
wild.
remember that's like in like an almost
It's
an L.
bouncing.
Yeah, it's like a boomerang shape.
Yeah.
Also,
And the
as
fact
well,
that
to
it
get
can
from your-
travel, like
Because-
there's
Well, because the Earth is not laid out flat like a map,
Yeah.
as they would want
yeah.
you to believe.
I wonder what how far sound like they can if they've recorded sound traveling on Earth.
Oh,
Because I don't feel like it's nearly like it's
But also
Yeah.
definitely
depend
not
on
as
where
far.
you were, right? Because mountains would block sound.
Yeah.
Yes, because
And
as soon
then-
as it has something to capture the sound, then it
Yeah.
stops.
Now,
Mhm.
this could be a dumb question, but I like to think on the show there are no dumb questions. So
Mhm.
imagine you're doing some kind of like a sound test. And what if there was a relatively flat area, but then there was like a big, gorge or a big drop, and it still continued on? Would that impact? Because I'd imagine like there's colder air. So would that
Hmm.
impact the sound going across it, like across some kind of a canyon?
I don't know.
Girl Strip?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, we'll go to Grand Canyon.
And like an
Yeah, and
echo.
we'll just yell
how does
across.
an echo help it to travel?
Mhm.
Fascinating. Well, this was crazy. And we got to see our old friend the snailfish.
Yes, I know. We
Yes.
got to see our babysitter
best
again.
Best
I
babysitter.
know. I'm gonna be calling him. I forgot he's
there you go.
available. I know going to a movie on Friday.
He's been waiting. He's been waiting this whole
He
time.
has nothing to do down there. Like nothing.
Literally nothing.
Oh, it says in 1883, the Krakatoa volcanic eruption in Indonesia was the furthest recorded sound on Earth,
Mm.
being heard up to 3,000 miles or 4,800 kilometers away. You guys do the shack math on that one.
A lot.
That's a
Um,
lot of shacks.
So, yeah, from
Shack math.
Indonesia to Perth, Australia. That's just to be fair,
Wow.
it's like the first result that comes up. So I'm just Not,
Well, the
I
first one's
haven't
always true,
dived
so
into it. Yeah,
That's how
obviously.
I take it.
that's how I
I
run this
still vote-
podcast.
The AI.
I still
to
vote
give us
girls
the right
trip
answer.
to figure this out.
Well,
Wow.
that was
well,
amazing. Thank you, Chantal.
I can't believe I
welcome.
didn't even notice the
Thank you
April,
for being
April
so
1st.
timely and thinking ahead on the calendar.
It was honestly a
fool
fluke that I even
your-
saw that. I was
Hey,
like,
but it was
fooling my
it
two
was
best
meant
friends?
to be.
That's
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Done. God, you had me going. I was like legit so worked.
I know.
What
Like
the
as
fuck?
I'm
I mean-
as I'm like going through this, I'm like, damn, these girls are in it. I'm so good.
I'm so
It's like
when
any
it
minute they're
happens in
gonna
the
catch on.
ocean, I'll believe almost anything.
I know, right?
I'm
I
like,
know.
well, it
but
just
I
shows
was
that
puzzled with the 27 thing. I'm like, that just
But
I
that
know. I was
just
like, is
makes,
27.3 gonna be too
No.
like? Anyways,
no. I mean, if
so
you
happy.
said it, I'm like, I'm
I
gonna
never
believe it.
assume either of you are going to lie
Like-
to me.
Right. Although you
That's-
did once. I guess I have to lie to you guys at some point.
yeah, there you go.
I
'Cause
wish you would.
Pavalia,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I'm like, oh yeah, I did lie
I
to you
wish you
guys.
would.
I'll get you
Please
guys one
lie.
day.
Okay, well that's it for our April Fools.
That's
And,
awesome. And thank God
Yeah.
we're all gonna
Yes.
be okay.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, there's still.
I don't
things in the
know.
ocean we
Maybe
don't
there
know
is something. Maybe it's like anyways.
But I'm like, James never found anything. So
Right?
Right?
That was my only tip off. That something
Yeah.
here was fishy.
So,
Oh.
I love when you do that.
I know
sound.
you do. I know you do. So, anyways.
Wow, that episode was amazing.
Okay.
You totally got us. Happy April Fools, everyone. Hope that you had not bad tricks and like funny kind of sweet ones. Like no ill intention
I've
ones.
never
I
never
hate
done
bad
April
pranks.
Fools on anybody before. So this is
I did one time. I told my roommates that the landlord emailed me and said our rent was going up, and they freaked out. I was like, oh, I was just April
Lindsay!
Fool.
Okay, full disclosure, I once called my parents from Newfoundland to say I was pregnant, and my parents both had two very. I was like 19. Okay,
before you knew
don't
better.
ever
Fair.
do
But
that.
yeah, you
Oh, I
don't
did
do
not know.
pregnancy related April Fools.
I was
No.
a kid. It was on my mind.
You tell your
all.
friends there's a sea monster that might be in the ocean.
Yes,
That's the type of April
exactly.
Fools
That's
you
funny.
want to do.
That's funny, and also it gets a conversation going
There we
about
go.
you know what's
Exactly.
down the Marianas Trench. So that's a
Mhm.
more like
Important conversations. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah. So
Science.
don't do what I did. Also, but I had two drastically different responses, which I thought was funny and very on brand.
You can tell us about those
I'm
later.
going to guess who was
Yeah.
the more chill one.
let's say one was on board problem solving, one didn't know where to begin. But it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but don't
Don't do
make
that.
that
Don't
joke.
do
Do like funny ones. Oh, I saw this one
Yeah.
where someone used yogurt and a peach to make it look like a fried egg, and their kid was like, "What is this?" And they're like, "April Fools." And I'm like, "That's actually so cute."
That is
Also, a
cute.
yummy breakfast,
Yeah.
like peach and a.
Yeah, as
That
long as
reminds
it's still
me I should go
edible.
eat
I'd be sad if my
Yeah, you can still eat
breakfast was like end up not being food or something.
Yeah.
Well, I also saw one where it was a Brussels sprout covered in chocolate wrapped as a Ferrero Rocher. That's cruel.
Whenever
Okay.
I see
Yeah, that's not
those
cool.
like pranks online of like couples doing pranks on one another, I'm like, this really tells me how much you guys actually love each other or not. Because some of them are real bad.
Yeah.
Really bad.
Some
Yeah,
are
it's like you
like-
kind of
some are
actually
like,
hate
you
each other,
them.
maybe.
Yeah.
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 And then
Ugh.
some are like kind of sweet and funny. Like I
Yeah.
like the one, oh my God, I'm trying to think. There's one where, okay. No, I have like four in my head. I'm trying to get my
Have you
thought
seen
clear,
the ones
so I
where
will find-
everybody something's a cake, something's always a cake? That one always makes me
Uh,
laugh.
No,
Oh,
but that's hilarious.
yeah.
One, not really April Fools, but one where they're going out to a big group dinner and all the women have bought the men the same shirt.
Oh yes, I've seen that. Yeah, that's funny. I
Oh,
love
yeah.
that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's one where I think someone is purposefully hiding something. So it's like, oh, can you go get this? And it's not there. And then the wife puts it back and somebody goes and it's like, it is there. It's like, I guess it's like gaslighting, but it's like meant to be kind of funny.
Yeah.
Don't
But
make
it's
me
only-
think
it's
I'm
only-
crazy. Okay. Anyways, we're gonna keep rambling
Okay.
forever.
Yeah, we're done.
So, okay. I
Okay.
love you.
Okay.
Happy
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening today. We loved having you. If you liked the episode, share with your friends, family, or anyone who would enjoy it. Also, take a moment to review our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. Leaving us a like or comment really helps. If you'd like to buy us a coffee, please visit our coffee page at www.ko-fi.com/coastfiles. Email us at coastfilespod@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram at coastfilespod, or visit our website at www.coastfiles.com. You can find the sources for today's episode on our website. See you next week with a new episode.